Alright, so you got your track mastered and all set, and now you want to make a video. Well, perfect, because we're going to do that now. This is just going to be a simple tutorial for how to do just basic lyric videos. I use DaVinci, so that's what we're working with. There's plenty of other editing software. I just prefer DaVinci. The great thing too with DaVinci is they have a free and paid version. So if you need all those extra features, great, you can buy it. I have actually bought DaVinci. I use it all the time for more than just this. So personally, if you do a lot of editing, I do recommend DaVinci. It's great. I love it. This is not sponsored or anything like that. I just actually do like this software. But let's get into this. So first we need to go to File, Import Media. I need music. We're using Cut from Silence for this. Then I need to choose, not export, import. Final keeps. This is where I keep all of my images that I use for videos. Or just thumbnails also. There it is. If you guys haven't noticed, I like using monochrome images. So we're going to just drag that in there. You need to do that first, and then you can pull in your audio. I'm going to line it up along the bottom here. And then we're going to take this all the way down here. Oh, went too far. Okay, so if you go too far, just come back to the end here, line it up, and then you just hit cut right here, and then you can just get rid of that extra. Alright, come back down here. Now, there's a couple ways you can add subtitles. You can put them in yourself, or if you have actually owned DaVinci, which we'll start with that, you go to Timeline, create subtitles from audio. Auto language is fine, or you can go in and select it. I just use auto. Maximum characters per line. That one, I use 42, but that one will depend on your lyrics. Also, you can change and edit things as you're going through. So we're just going to leave these settings as is, hit create, and give it a moment. Okay, so now that's generated. It can take like 30 seconds or so, sometimes a little longer, so just let it do its thing. It's fine. Alright, so as you can see, it's got the subtitles put in here. Then you're going to want to make sure you're looking at that, so make sure that's highlighted in orange right there. We're going to come up here and hit Inspector. Oop, it did not select it. There we go. So first thing I do, if it happens, because this right here, like music, not necessary. I just go back and get rid of those. First thing, which looks like that was actually the only one. It'll stay in the line here. Don't worry about it. It won't actually show up. The next thing is, and you may or may not have this if you've done this before, is I have a preset I use for my subtitles. Which will come in here. See, and it changed the font and everything, the location. Because I have a setup, I always use the same font for mine. White lettering with light black outlining. That's just, for me, it's less about the lyrics and more about the art that goes with it. That's just me, though. You guys can do whatever you want with your lyrics. There's all kinds of effects and stuff in DaVinci, which we are going to be going over some of those here shortly. So, the next thing you got to do, because DaVinci is not always great about timing when it comes to the automated subtitles. You'll go through, you'll listen to it, you can adjust the timing, so let's check this place right here. See? Yeah, it got confused with that opening there. So what you do is you just let it play through, figure out where the lyrics actually start, and then let's come back over here. You're going to want, so this right here, the two bars will move both of those boxes. You want the arrow on the left. You just want to move, you're only wanting to move this one. Now granted, in this case, there's no text in that other one, so moving it wouldn't matter. But we'd scroll over here to find wherever the starting point is. And then you just let it stop. So, let's see. Oh, I got that almost exactly. I was just a tiny bit off on that. because I just dropped it somewhere. So yeah, that worked out. You can usually see the starting point if you come down here and look at your audio file. Like, I can see where that comes in right there with that peak. So the next thing you're going to do is you'd have to sit here, go through, and let me pull back up the captions. You'd be going through making sure DaVinci has caught all your words correctly. Or if there's any adjustments you want to make to the captions, like this one and this one. I personally would probably make it so these are one caption. So I just take this one. We're going to highlight that, copy it, and just add it to this one. And then this, we'll click on this box, and we will just empty it. And then we can adjust the length of this box appropriately, which should be right there.
Where the screen stuck deep behind the eye.
Yep, okay. See, that's all you gotta do. Automated subtitles make it really easy. DaVinci is, however, I think it's $300, or at least at the time that I bought DaVinci, it was $300. I don't know if it still is. I've had DaVinci for a little while. So at this point now, I would just go through, listening to the track, adjusting and just listening to each thing and seeing where, if I need to edit any of the words, adjust the timing. That's all you're doing at this point, is going through and just making sure everything's where it needs to be, it's got the correct words. Now, the other way to do this, and I can show you this without even changing anything. We're going to come down here in our options down here. You have your media, time, your cuts, edit. You want to come down to edit along the bottom here. Then what we want is, and actually, so this is a little easier to see. Give me a second. Okay, here we go. This is cleared all that out of the way to make it a little easier to see. This way, this is the way you have to do it, or you can also make a file that you can import into DaVinci that would automatically play subtitles for you. It's a SRT file, if I remember the extension for it correctly. But those, honestly, aren't any faster, if I'm being quite honest, because you still have to go through, make sure your timing is correct. There's a special way you have to format it. If you one tiny little an extra space or a period you didn't mean will mess up the whole file and it will be unusable. You'll have to go back, find your mistake, and do it again. But if you come over to text here, and let's say it starts right here. And we'll adjust it in length a little bit. So, you come in here, you're going to write whatever the line is for this spot in the video. Then, so it shows up in the video there. You're going to select your font, which I use. And you can hit the first letter of whatever font it is you're looking for, and it'll come straight to that area. So I hit C. I use Copperplate Gothic Bold fairly often. I like it. And then you're going to adjust your font, which 96, if you're doing a song, 96 is going to be way too big, unless you're doing multiple lines at one time. Like, you want to have 2 or 3 lines of text at a time. I use 58 for mine. Almost always. Then if you come down to the bottom, your stroke, which is just your outline. See, if I do it up 4 is too much to me. I just do it on 2 just to get a nice little outline to make the text stand out. Now, once you have that set for whatever line you're working on, if you click on the box, you can drag it up and down and put placement wherever you would like your text to appear on screen. I keep mine at the bottom, usually around right here. Like I said, for me, when it comes to the lyrics are important, but the art is far more important to me for these than the actual lyrics are, so I have them at the bottom. You can also, there's a lot of effects you can do you can animate your text, whatever you want to do. Depends on how much time you want to put in this. So, I'm going to get all of my lyrics in place, and then we are going to continue with the next steps. So give me a few minutes here. Okay, so I got to the end of this, fixing the lyrics, timings, and all that, and it missed a block of text right here, which is perfect because I can show you how it looks when you do this with the auto subtitles. So when you come down to your edits down here, bring text block, getting it to cooperate sometimes because you have that small little area you got to put it in there. So we're going to put it, I'm a little past where it starts, so we're going to move that over just a tiny bit. And then it works pretty much the same way as I showed you earlier. You just find your whatever font, couldn't think of the word you're going to use. Put it down to your desired text size. We're going to put the line in there it needs to be. I need to adjust the stroke to, and then drag it down to about right there. And we're going to go back over to timeline and make sure that works. I mean, on here it looks annoying, but if you have to do it, you have to do it.
Command the blade, you fart! Command the blade!
That needs pushed back a tiny bit here.
Command the blade, you fart, to take a stand!
And then we can cut that off right about there. And that is it. So now that we're done with that, we are going to close our inspector right there. We're going to come back to the beginning here, and we're going to look at adding effects. So in addition to, which it's in your media pool, it's up along right here, this line here. So in addition to your, I was playing with things earlier, so we want video effects. In addition to what DaVinci has if you have bought it. There's also a lot of free stuff you can find and download for overlays. There's all kinds of stuff out there. Take a look, see if there's anything you like. A lot of times the stuff that's in DaVinci meets what I need. But there is stuff out there you can find that's totally free. They're all very easy to install. If there's something, just look around, see if there's anything you like. So what we're gonna do is, like the CCTV one. It makes it look like a CCTV. Or highlight stretch. Stretch region. It stretches the image. I do like the way that looks. I might actually use that one. We'll come back to that. Noise distortions. There's a lot of different image blurs. This one, radio blur, that could be good for a lyric video. I don't think I like it for this one, but that is something that could be used depending on the image or just the part of the story you want the image you're using to tell. What else do we have? Invert color. That's kind of nice on the monochrome. Video HDR, just in this case, mostly just brightens everything up. I'm looking for... film grain could be nice. Or film damage. I do like that. I've used film damage before. It always looks really nice with the monochrome images. I think I might actually do that, and then add a film grain to it, maybe? Film look creator? Ooh. Actually, yeah, I like that. We're gonna do that, actually. Keep in mind, the more effects you add, it will make the final rendering process take longer. So right now, this is probably... I'd say probably a 2-3 minute render. As of right now, anyway. Because I still have to go back and make any edits to the effects that I might want to make. Halation. You can see adds brightness to certain areas, and so like the strings of notes get brighter, or the lighting on the wings, those spots get a little brighter. That's more or less what that does. What else might we want to use? Light rays. Very obvious what that does. Glow. Just adds an overall glow to the image. Lens flare. Pretty self-explanatory. I've used that before in a previous video because in the right here where that shows up, there was a stage light, and that worked absolutely perfectly as where it was located. Lens reflections. Again, it adds a lens reflection effect. So we're going to add that, and then I need to go to Inspector, and I want Effects. The JPEG damage is perfect as is. I love the way that looks, so we're not going to change that one. Our Film Look Creator. You can go in and change it. Let's see how Cinematic changes it. I like that. Might bleach bypass. Think. Nah, I don't like that. Clean slate. No, I don't think so. Or you can just adjust all the settings yourself for a completely custom look. I'm just playing with 35mm. Yeah, I'm going to keep the 35mm. I like that. Now we're going to look at our film damage. This one doesn't have settings. You have to go through and change everything yourself. So let's... And we want scratch enabled. Let's up the width a tiny bit. Makes it a little more obvious. Maybe a little bit more. There we go. I like that. I think that's what we're going to do. That's going to be our final edit. So we've got everything we want. I've got all the effects put in we're going to use. So now we're going to come down here, and we're going to do the little rocket. This is where we do the exporting settings. So I have a pre-save set of settings for music. So I'm going to click that. Alright, I need to change that. One Heart is the song I did when I created this particular setting, so it still has the file name there when I load it. So I need to change that to cut from silence. Now I always scroll through, make sure nothing's got changed. Now, an important thing to do. This is for the auto subtitles, if you have that option because you've bought Resolve. You want to come down to your subtitle settings at the bottom here, and make sure the format is set to burn into video. So it actually adds them to your video and doesn't create like a separate file or whatever other setting you have used. You want burn into video. Now, once you've done any other settings that you might want to change, like I said, this is what I use for mine. There are other settings you can do that might work better for you, because you might actually use full animations instead of just effects. Or like there are images where I'll rather than effects, there'll be the base image, and then I'll go through and then edit that image to add more lighting or whatever I happen to add to it. But I just used effects within DaVinci for this one, just because they look really nice and work really well for this. So once all that's changed, you'll hit Add to Render. Pick wherever you want to save it. I'm just going to save it in my final edits photo. Oh, look, here you go. Couple sneak peek at images for the teaser trailers for Fall's album release. You get to see the images. because they're not actually done yet. They're just base files. But hit save, it'll come over here, and if you have other projects or something else you want to render separately alongside it, you can. Make sure this says entire timeline, and then just hit render. Like I said, this will probably be 2 or 3 minutes. Yep, it's running a little faster. But that is it. Now, I will post this video. You guys can see the final actual product in a couple days. I'll probably post this Monday morning around 8:45, 9 a.m., something like that. But that is it for this one. If you have questions, comments, or if you have questions, put it in the comments. Like, subscribe, do all the things. But that is it. I will see everyone next time.